The U.S. has begun charging 1% federal tax on cash-funded remittances under President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act. That means added cost to millions of overseas workers and migrants in the U.S. sending money home to the Philippines, except for those transacting via digital and bank-funded transfers, as these are exempt. The U.S. remains the biggest source, accounting for 40% of inflows in 11 months. Well, with us now for more is Dr. Danilo Bong Mojica II, President and CEO of UnionDigital Bank, or UD, the digital banking subsidiary of Union Bank of the Philippines. Good seeing you, Bong. Welcome to the program.
Hi, good morning.
All right, so how are digital transactions coming along now since the start of the remittance tax of 1% for UD?
It's a good thing that you gave a bit of context to that one because, number one, it is correct that 40% of remittances inbound are from the U.S. The further context, though, is that we have to understand that 70% of the 40% is already digital. It means there's only 12% left that is really not digital. So our kababayans out there actually have already embraced digital transactions, and these are exempt from the 1% tax. So what happens to the 12%? Okay? So that remains to be an opportunity for them to learn how to embrace the digital world, so to speak.
What is keeping them from going digital, that 12%?
Well, no matter what you say, there are people who still prefer to transact with cash. It's the same with digital transactions. They would rather still go to a teller, because that's the way they've been used to doing things. So I think a lot more education has to be done for banks like ourselves to let them know that that's a more convenient way of doing things now. Mid to long term, that's where the good news is because the more it becomes expensive to transact on non-digital channels, the onus is really on us to make sure that we provide them the right value proposition to transfer to a digital channel.
Could it be more demographic, that 12%, that their preference lies in because it's what they know?
Yes, well, two kinds of demographics maybe. One is there's an age demographic there where they've gotten used to just having cash, or the very few from the United States who are at the lower income demographic who padala, they want to do it that way. And unless they, stick the money to somewhere, they really are going to be taxed.
1% tax, is that a big hit for anybody sending money home from the U.S. to the Philippines?
Well, if you compound that with the number of times that you send, it can be substantial. Plus, you have an exchange rate that fluctuates, so it can become substantial.
So the frequency will be less, but we're seeing the peso at 59, nearing 60.
Yes.
That's bang out of their buck.
Yes.
So they can send a lot less for more.
Exactly. So, and so I think, but I think the opportunity really is for more digitalization. There is one element that can get hit because from our research, it doesn't seem to be so digital yet because many Filipinos abroad right now, especially those in America, are sending money directly to real estate opportunities in the Philippines. And a lot of them still send cash, okay? But again, that's an opportunity for the real estate companies to offer digital means through the banks.
But in terms of UD, how are you going to harness that to become an opportunity? What are you doing from UD's perspective to try and get that 12% to go digital and go within your ecosystem? Yeah,
well, that's a good question with good insights because I'll get into what UD went through in 25, okay? But as I move forward, part of our ecosystem is to work with partners. And one of the biggest partners that we will be working with is SSS. Now, one of the challenges that SSS has are those citizens abroad who want to contribute to a pension fund in the Philippines have really no structured way of sending remittances at the moment. So the opportunity for us, and this is why we partnered with Chairman Jay Declaro and the SSS community and create them to be part of our ecosystem, is because this is exactly what we want to harness. Because we're a digital bank, we can provide bank accounts to anybody who is outside and who is going outside, so that the transactions when paying SSS premiums can be very seamless. So that is one of the big ones, because there's 20 million SSS pensioners out there, but there's still a greater number that they'd like to get into the fold, so to speak.
Okay, so that greater number then, how are you hoping to pull them in? Because it's not just about remitting, but really being able to loan money,
Yes.
presumably from the digital bank.
So I think, there lies the meat of what UnionDigital does, okay? Because we are what we term as a lending first digital bank. Many banks, they did payments, they did wallets. We chose in late 24 to create a strategic shift to just become a lending first bank. Now, I don't know, I want to spend 1 minute to talk about something that many people don't know, but the Filipino has a prosperity journey. He goes through particular stages. And funny enough, the first part of that prosperity journey is, mangungutang muna ako para sa mga pangangailangan ko. Okay? And then that becomes, mangungutang ako dun sa mga, institutions. And then when they have their small business running, they have more disposable income, then they're able to spend on others. And then when they have bigger needs, they borrow again. So until they reach a point of, not saturation, but comfort. But I'm talking about a different demographic, because the prosperity journey of people of the higher demographic doesn't start that way. It starts when my dad gave me a lot of money. Okay, so we're talking about that demographic, and that's what we cater to. So we are with them in every step of that journey, and this is also the reason why we launched a campaign called Kaya Mo in 2025. We told the Filipinos that in each part of this journey, we are your partner. And therefore, given that becomes impetus now for people like the SSS pensioners to not be afraid of using digital means and to discover other things that they can do in the digital realm. Invest, borrow money, pay. So that's where we are actually at the moment.
Well, let's talk about your journey in terms of asset quality. You made a mention of that experience you've had in the previous years with the unsecured retail book, because Moody's cited it as a driver for problem loans.
Yes.
How's the cleanup been?
Okay.
And the recalibration that you're doing?
All right.
DD?
It's very important. We had challenges before, okay? But those challenges were brought about by, I think, a mindset where bigger is better. Okay, more loans bodes well for the bank. What we did was, again, we did a pivot, and we created and we implemented a strategy called Low and Grow. Okay, so we start small, and then you grow as you get experience. So that involved three things. Number one, let's shrink our loan book. Let's not aim for the stars. But the important thing is we learn. Okay, so that's one. So our pautang, from a tenor standpoint and from a value standpoint, we made it small.
So the problem to loan ratio is now between, what, 6 to 7%? Because that was a target for last year.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet it?
Well, right now we are spot on with both our good loans, our loan, and also our NPL. Our NPL is significantly below where it used to be, and that's a major metric that I have, because we're an unsecured loan specialty bank.
But where then do you draw the line and maybe find that sweet spot now that you're a pickier lender, but you also want to be inclusive?
So, okay, that's the question is not where to draw the line, but the question is how good we are in picking. Because there's 37.5 million Filipinos out there who are, I won't say they're not included, but they are opportunities for banks.
So who's your core customer right now after that cleanup?
Those are the core customers. Those at the basically close to the bottom of the pyramid, and we wanna stay there. Those who will avail of loans between 30 and 50,000 pesos, and pay it in 3 to 6 months. We're very, very focused on those guys.
All right. Just a final question. Break even by the second half of this year. Are you still confident given we've had slowing growth and a corruption governance issues to deal with?
Yes, I think even more so because we've been even more careful now, okay, in who to lend to and what to lend, how much to lend, and how to collect. But we've also been more aggressive in educating them about, you're with us, we're with you in your prosperity journey.
All right. Well, good luck on that prosperity journey this year.
Sige,
Bong,
thank you.
you.
Okay.
Bong Mojica II, the President and CEO of UD.